There's Rhonda and Tyree. Awesome. Give us 10 more seconds. We will jump in. Three, two, one. All right, everybody, welcome to Thursday, September 8th, Legacy Ascending Discovery Call. Just to recap what happened last week, we had some amazing results in the world of funding. We got over $250,000 funded to people, toward people, at people, approved, which is great. And then we also now have access to hotels. We have, series of hotels from the low seven figures up to one of the hotels that's on our list is actually the in Las Vegas, the on the Strip, the Planet Hollywood Hotel, which is guess how much that's listing for. Put that in the chat box. How much is Planet Hollywood for sale? For that's bad grammar. How much for which is How much do you think Planet Hollywood is for sale right now? Put it on the chat box if you want to take a guess at that. But that is something. If you want to buy it, we can get it to you. So it's been a good week, and we have also been very busy, busy little bees, coming up with ways in which you can utilize the funding that you've received if it wasn't to the liking or to the level that you wanted initially. Now we know that we can use our funding and then apply again and potentially get more while we also fix our funding and all those things or fix our levels of credit. But what happens in the meantime? What if I wanted $100,000, but what if I only got 20? What if I got 50? What if I got 70? What if I got 10? Is there something I can do while the clock ticks on my 0% funding source, right? I only have a limited time at 0%. Now you have 60 days grace period, which is 2 months without having to pay anything, which is dope. But, some of you will get 12 months, some of you will get 18 months, and some of you will get 22 months of 0%. And after that, right, the interest rates start kicking in. So what can we do right away with what we get? Well, that's what Daz and I have been pouring over really for the last couple of weeks, and we have many more coming. But we're very excited to share with you what we found out because some of you have been funded, want to be funded, and are like, okay, but what do I do? Which is the most important thing because while we want to get you funded, we will not get you funded if you don't have a plan. Just like a trading plan. You don't enter a trade without having a plan. Otherwise you're going to lose money. And in this case, this isn't just a simple, couple of contracts of SPY at 8:30 in the morning or 9:30 in the morning. This could be significant, and we want to make sure that the risk is off when we take our investments, at least as much off as allowed, so that we can still make profits. All right. So with that said, I'm going to hand it over to Dazzle and this quote that she just posted on her Facebook page.
It says, you have to remember that you can work one, maybe two jobs. There's only so many hours in the day, right? So if you're trading time for money, you're limited on how much that you can actually trade. But there's no limit to the amount of vending machines, rental properties, dividend stocks, or other cash flowing assets that you can have. All it takes is more money, and you just compound your way up to have as many assets as possible. That's the name of the game. The more assets you have, the more worry free you'll be, because the money's going to be coming in. It's mailbox money, whether you're there or not. And that's the goal, because a lot of times we get caught up in the working so much that we don't even get to enjoy the fruits of our labor because it requires us so much time to get those fruits. So it's kind of like hyper redundant, catch 22.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about some ways that you actually can not do can cannot have to rely on a job, and that you can, explore more assets, more ways that you can leverage those assets to provide you passive income.
Yeah. And you know what I'm seeing, what I'm realizing, we should probably cover the funding part first and then talk about what you can do with it. So we can cover
Okay.
that because some of you all are going to apply while we're here on this call. I get that, and you should if you can handle it, you should. And because our premise, if you've been to our YouTube channel, is listen. it costs too much to use your own money to do stuff. We want to use other institutions' money to do the kind of passive income, generational wealth building that we want to do because credit is cheaper than cash. And some of you are like, huh? I know. Stick with us, kid, because we're going to show you why that's the case and how it works. Let's see here. Let me get the funding. Daz, you want to explain the funding part?
So we have a couple of different levels of funding. Our first level, which is like your right now level, your beginner level, is able to get you up to $100,000 in funding, and all that's required is that you have a 685 or better and a business bank account. You gotta have a business. It's business funding. So right now you have the prime opportunity to really get that launch pad that you need to take your business endeavors where they need to go. As I've been an entrepreneur since I could count, and I can't count the times. If I had a penny for every time that I was like, dang, if I just had enough money to invest this part of my business or to do this, and so that's the whole purpose of that phase one funding, is to be able to get you that launch pad, to be able to do the things that you need to do and have that startup capital to start generating those passive income streams. The second level of funding is when you're actually able to get a seasons corporation that can then qualify for larger amounts of credit.
I'm looking for the keys in that.
Please hold.
And then our third level, we can get you up to $1.5 million and beyond.
Mhm.
Just being able to go through the process and compound your credit up. So being able to start at up to 100K and get to $1.5 million beyond, really going through our process of being able to leverage your credit up and compound your access.
Let me see here. Yeah, here we go.
So no financials, no income verification. You have 0% for 12 to 36 months. So you could do a lot. You could flip the money a lot of times in between that time. If you really have a plan and you're strategic in what you do with the funding, but it's a really easy process. It's only going to cost you $1. And like I said before, you're going to need to have a FICO score of 685 or better, a business bank account, and an EIN number.
Which we help you set up in about a day, by the way.
So, yes, you're gonna need to have, decent credit. You don't want to have a lot of issues on, so you want to have some clean credit.
You don't want this
Uh,
stuff.
Yeah, you don't want to have any of that because we do have solutions though. If you do have issues going on with your credit, we have a lot of solutions that we can refer you out to be able to help you get to where you need to be. So you're gonna need that 685 or better clean credit, and you're gonna go to 3scoresnow.com and you're gonna create an account. That's where you're gonna pay your dollar at, and you're gonna download the PDF. That's important. Download the PDF. Now, do not screenshot. Download the PDF of your reports, and then you're gonna email that in along with your name, your address, phone number, and last four of your social in the email body. You're going to send that to funding@legacyascending.com. Now, once you send that in the funding@legacyascending.com, it's only going to take us 72 hours to have a decision for you.
Yep. And this is a secure email, by the way, too. Hold on. Somebody's trying to log in. I'm trying to get them the link here.
So, that's just like the easiest process. One of the things getting started in business, and they're like, okay, you got to get your business up and this or that, and I'll have the qualifications and go for the funding. But guess what? They be like, okay, let us see your financials. I'm like, ooh, and they're like, ooh, because if you're a brand new entrepreneur, you're just getting started, and you need this capital as a launch pad. You really don't have that. So this is why I think is the beauty of it, is that specific part, is that you don't have to have that as a qualification to be able to get the funding.
Yeah. And there she is. If some of you are you're gonna apply tonight, put a 5 in the chat box. so that we know we're gonna be ready for you. And some of you don't have good credit, and some of you have bankruptcies and tax liens, and there's not a lot we can do about that. We can fix just about everything else, but we can't fix those two things. However, because this lives in a corporate side, you can avoid this completely. And we have a video on our YouTube channel that shows you how to use someone else's FICO to get the same lending. Pretty dope. There's always a way around it. All right. Anybody have any questions about the funding thing? Because now what we're going to do is show you what you can do with your funding, what y'all been waiting for. But before we do, anybody got any questions about anything that we've covered so far? So if you're with us so far, if you understand what we've been talking about, put a 1 in the chat box. If you're confused, put a 0 in the chat box. Some of you are probably mad. Put an 8 in the chat box if you're mad. And put an exclamation point if you're like, this is incredible. What? Put an exclamation point in so that we know that we have living people. Okay, cool. There we go. We got some ones. Kimberly Jones. I get it. It's okay to be angry. It's okay. I'm hoping, I'm believing that you won't be angry by the end. Thank you, Freon.
And then I just have, before we get into that too, I just had a question. If your bank account, if your business bank account received a deposit of $100,000 tomorrow, what would you do? What would you invest that in? How would you scale your business? Or what businesses would you invest into?
Put it in the chat box. What would you do? 100 grand tomorrow. What kind of property, Shannon? What can you buy for 100 grand? Great answer, by the way. Reinvest it to make more money. In what, Mimi? What would you reinvest it in? In what would you reinvest it? There, the proper grammar. Call Mark and ask for help. Boom! Don't talk to me. I'm just the ball guy. But definitely come hang out with us because we've got some answers. Something with land to hold. Yes. Okay, great. Awesome. I love that. I would place money in DeFi. There we go. Right? We are devising a DeFi protocol. Commercial real estate. What kind of commercial real estate would you get for $100, Timothy? Great answer. We're devising a DeFi. I'm not gonna say we. Daz is devising a DeFi protocol for this funding, which should be great. Rental properties, looking to get complex, rehab elderly. Absolutely, that'll work. Property, crypto, and more. Perfect. Because there are rental properties. Some of you know this. We talked about it last week that you can get for $30,000. If you were on the real estate call Saturday, we went all over that, didn't we? Some of you downloaded my calculator, my real estate calculator, and you can totally cash flow a $30,000 house in Memphis. Some type of retail automated machine. Now, Troy, you're getting on our wavelength. We like it. Great stuff. An office space, yeah. And we have some office space in our inventory. Maybe a space of multiple offices so I can rent. Why don't you get yourself an office complex? In fact, there are some office complexes that we have that are in line with our level 3 funding. Vending for sure, yeah. Buy Airbnb, B&B, yeah, absolutely. Great, I'm glad. This is great. Thank you for this. Awesome. Let's talk about some opportunities, and you don't have to do what we're telling you to do. Not that we're telling you to do anything. Oh, I need to go the other window. There's some things that we have that could give you some short-term cash flow. Yeah, car leasing, houses in Georgia, absolutely. So we're not suggesting that you do any of these, but we've kind of laid out some various ways to short-term cash flow the money that you're going to get from our lenders under $100,000, so that depending on your risk tolerance, depending on what you like, what you don't like, some of you can't sleep at night holding an apartment complex. Oh no, what if something happens? What if I get a complaint? And that's fine. You shouldn't do apartments. Some of you are like freaking out about putting money into crypto. Like, oh, it's so volatile. What if I lose it? You shouldn't do crypto. We're hoping that we've got for you a multiplicity of options, not the only options, but ones that we know have vetted or done or both, that we're like, this is great. Try this out. We talked about this last time. There is a video on this in our YouTube channel. Right now, we have a vendor who is able to get you a Shopify store. And when I say Shopify store, I mean you give them $50,000. Let's say you got $70,000 from credit, or probably 60. We'll call it 60,000. And then you give them $50,000 and you walk away. They guarantee you that you'll make your $50,000 back in 8 months. If you don't, they'll write you a check for the balance. Well, you can't beat guarantee. Where do you get that? Nowhere. So it's going to cost you 50 G's. You should probably keep 5 in reserve because of the adverts out of the first couple months you may have to pay for. It may not quite be cash flowing yet to pay for the adverts, but then after that, they'll pay for themselves. You'll be debt free in about 10 months or so, which is pretty great. Again, you're guaranteed to have 50. And then after that, it's a split with this vendor, and you'll make between $5,000 a month and $30,000 a month. This is extremely low risk, $200,000 a year, give or take. Can you only do one of these? No. You could do as many as you like. Okay? That's option one. And this is kind of for the upper mid-level folks who got 60, 70, 80,000. Could you do it with 50,000? Yeah, but it's a little dangerous because you are going to need some extra cash. And everything that we're offering to you anywhere in this business of Legacy Ascending should not cost you more than $1. What's that dollar for? Some of you are already going to ask for funding tonight. That's the only dollar. Doesn't even go to us. We want everything to be on other institutions' money. Okay? Everybody good with the Shopify thing? If you have a question, now's your chance because we're going to go through these pretty fast because we want to start talking to you guys. You can hop off mute if you want. All right, moving on. Here's mining. Now this, you're going to have to hang with me here for a second because this mining thing, the first version that we were told was how it worked was untrue. So we had to go and do our own research. What we discovered is the retail systems that they're offering, where it's all pre-built and isn't that nice, they're never going to cash flow. No matter what they tell you. I'm sorry. It is not worth a penny, in my opinion, in my humble opinion. How does it work? You buy a system that has a specific amount of cards. These cards do the computations to mine or create more whatever coin you're looking for. And of course, as of today, you can't do Ethereum anymore, so it's going to be the rest. The cost on eBay, I went and did some research. You can put together a 4-card rig for about $3,000. If you had 6 systems, that's 24 cards. Your total cash outlay, including the fee for the debt, is about $20,000. Your profit per day per system is about $8 for the 4 cards. Times 6 systems is $48 a day. Your average power consumption at 1,500 watts, blah, 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 $17.97 if you're 13 cents kilowatt hours. That's a little bit below the average. Now, you folks in Southern California, I'm sorry. It's more than that. Us folks here in Tennessee, it's 10 cents. So you could do better. But that's the deal. Now, here's the reason. When I was talking earlier, I'm like, oh, yeah, we'll have this huge system, and it'll be great. Listen, this system is going to pull 65.5 amps of power 24/7. Most of y'all's houses are only 200 amps. Some of y'all's houses are 100 amps of power delivered to your house. You don't get any more without having them build something in. What was that? Okay. So if you've got a 100 amp house, you can't do this system. It's too many. You need to do less. But it's scalable, isn't it? You don't have to do 6. You can do 1 system. The numbers and the return on investment are the same. Not obviously the income numbers, but the return on investment is the same. If you did have a 200 amp system in your house or 200 amp power, you could do this without too much trouble at all. And if you're in a place like me where 9 months out of the year it's below 60 degrees, you can dump it in the garage and it won't overheat, which is important. Your income, there's your power. That's your power per day. These are per day. $48 in per system. That's what's going to cost you. And then this is what it's going to cost you to pay back the debt from us, not from us, but from our lenders at 0%. So all of this goes to principal. Nice. This cash flow is $913.41 a month. You will be debt free in just under 2 years, which just happens, by the way, to be the amount of what most of you will get in terms of the length of 0%, 22 months. Isn't that convenient? But this is if crypto doesn't go anywhere. Crypto doesn't rise. Now, of course, if crypto falls, you're going to lose money. Sorry to say. You may not lose a lot, but you're going to lose money. But we're doing this because we expect crypto to go up. If crypto doubles, you're debt-free in 8.5 months, and then you're cash flowing $2,300 a month after that on a $20,000 investment. Let's see, what do we got here? How do we find an adequate physical location for the mining to run? Well, like I said, you either live in a place where 9 months out of the year it's cool, and then you move it. They're small, they're not big. And then you move it into a room that has, maybe you put a little wall unit in there to keep it cool. Or you keep it in your house next to the blowers of your air conditioner. These are not things that are going to generate massive amount of heat at this level. If you had 16 of them, then yes. But you should be all right if it's inside a house or outside where it's 60 degrees or less. Now, this is really a 2-year plan because the income versus, we're really hoping that crypto goes up. Why would we be mining otherwise? Now, some of you are going to say, well, why mine? I'll just put it in Ethereum. Why? Makes sense. I'm just going to hodl in Ethereum. I don't have to do all this. Well, let's take a look at those numbers. And indeed, if in 2 years crypto doubles and holds, and you sell your gear for 10 cents on the dollar, right? It's not going to be worth very much. And you don't want to be doing this for more than 2 years, because 2 years from now, either the technology will be outdated or ain't nobody mining, right? So we're going to sell it for 10 cents on the dollar. You're going to make $18,000 in 2 years. That's a 46% return on investment, whereas Ethereum's going to beat you a little bit if crypto doubles and holds. Now, I'm not going to tell you what the chances of that are. You guys can figure that out. What happens if it doesn't move at all? You get nothing on Ethereum. You make a little bit on your mining rigs. What happens if it doubles and then goes back to where it was 2 years from now? You make $17,000 and you get nothing out of your Ethereum. What happens if it doubles and doubles, which is what I believe is going to happen, and more? Well, now your mining rig's kicking Ethereum. You're making nearly double what Ethereum would have made if you were hodling. And this is where we want to land, right? We want to land where we are mining with a very small amount. Some of you are going to get $30,000 or less. You can jump into this for the 2-year investment. You're making payments on these cards, which establishes good credit. You're also taking an income on your companies, which establishes financials. So you're getting both better credit, financials, and cash on a pretty low to medium risk. I mean, what are the chances that crypto is going to go up in the next 2 years? Probably pretty good. Any questions about this? This is complex. I know it's not for the faint, but it's possible. Another opportunity if this is your risk tolerance. All right, hit him with the vending. You thought that was cool. Watch this.
All right, so this is like one of the coolest, simplest ways that you can invest under 100K. So vending machines, you're looking at about 2,000 a machine. Minimum cost, moving it. The coins is about $50, and then you do have a fee for putting it in a location. Don't do a rev share. Don't do that. That's a conversation for another day. So sticking to it, having a standard fee, you're looking at about $1,000 give or take per machine. So if you have 5 machines, that's $5,000 passive income. What would you do if you had $5,000 cash flowing and that you didn't have to do anything different for it? You could just keep living your life and it was coming in every single month. So this is one of the fastest ways that you actually can become debt free, pay your loan back, because you're actually going to ROI in 5 months. So your average income is going to be $2,000 to $5,000 per month, which is $60,000 per year. Some people's jobs don't pay that. That's just being honest. You can get 5 vending machines that can replace somebody's job.
Now, this is work, by the way. This is not, you got to go fill the machines or you're hiring somebody to do it, right? So it's a great income, but you're going to have to get out of bed on the Saturday and go fill your machines or hire somebody to do it. But better than waking up at 6 in the morning and driving an hour to work and back. We talked about that a week ago.
I'd rather go refill like once a month.
Now you thought
So
that was good. What? Look at this.
oh, yeah. So the next one is you can do, the rental car services, peer-to-peer rentals. So you have Turo, you have some other cars, some other car sites that you can do. You even have it to where people who are Lyft and Uber drivers can actually rent your vehicle for you, and they rent for longer amounts of time. Turo is similar to Airbnb. You want to have the most days that you're booked. Depending on the city that you're in, like I live in Colorado, we have a lot of tourism here. You got places like Texas, Atlanta that have, high populations, and you don't even have to be in the city that your car is in, depending if you have connections. So actually a good friend of mine, she's in a different state and her car is in a totally another state, and she's been operating in the peer-to-peer renter space. So if your city isn't that popular, you can work out some things depending on your connections with other states. But you're thinking about the average cost per car. So if you like right now, the economy cars are really popular on that site because everybody wants to save gas. So it's either one end of the spectrum or the other. You either have the economy cars or you have the luxury cars, where you can, and you're looking at anywhere from $50 to $150 per day that you can receive for these rentals. So if you're rented about an average of 20 days per month and you have 4 cars, you're looking at over $5,000, almost $6,000 a month again income,
And
right?
and let's be clear about this loan. Tell them about why that car is only 15 grand. Because most people where they go wrong, like with every one of these deals, if you bought wrong, right? If you spent too much money on that mining rig, if you spent too much money on the car, if you spent too much money on the property, if you spent too much money for Ethereum, you're dead already. So why only 15,000?
So you don't have to have a brand new car to do so. And one little unknown fact about me is I've actually been flipping cars since I was 16 years old, and you
What?
can even get them there lower, depending on what state that you're in. But you can walk a car right off the lot for 15 grand. And then so even if you want to get multiple cars at that price point, you can put 10% down, and then that way you can get it like 4 cars at a time versus using all your capital on one car. So yes, definitely having multiple cars is going to be the way to go. You're going to have some things like putting in your load jack, which is so that you can have your tracking on it. They have, you have your gas and different things like that. I do want to say though, you get a really big deduction on your Turo cars for your business. Okay, you get some really good write-offs for this. So that's powerful in itself. You have people getting $10,000 to $20,000 write-offs from their Turo cars.
Because some of you are looking at this and you're like, dude, there's no repair in here. What about the tires? What about, oil change? What about all that? Well, as it turns out, since everything on here is deductible, you can either take the deductions of the expenses or you can take the mileage. Now, personally, and the great thing is you can figure that out at the end of the year. But your deductions, pretty much, I mean, unless something goes really wrong with your car, are going to pay for your repair, which are also deductible. And I want you to see this number right here. How many of you can buy 4 cars for $8,700, but not have to use any of your own money? Where does this money come from for that 10 down on 4 cars plus the fees and all this? From your funding. That's why this is the debt service of the Bank of America loan on the car loan, and this is the debt service from the loan that you're getting from our lenders. How much money did you pay for making $100,000 a year?
$1.
We're not making this up, you guys.
Where else can you get a 6-figure business for $1?
I mean, I would say this sounds too good to be true. If I were you, I'd be like, come on. Daz and I poured over this. We're like, where are we going wrong here? Where are these numbers wrong? How does this? What are we missing? No. And we know the loan works. So, shoot, you guys.
And then the debt-free time is phenomenal. So your turnaround time, you're using the money interest-free. Like, it can't get any better than that. And again, you just took $1. $1.
Yeah, so let's be clear about this. If you're like, you know what, this Turo thing, I'm hot on this. This is great, but I only got 10 grand. Shoot, my credit wasn't that great. Maybe I had a 700 credit, and maybe I didn't have some balances. I only got 10 grand. Shoot, I want to have 16 cars running, but I can only get 4. In 40 days, you can get 4 more. In 40 days after that, you can get 4 more. You guys see it?
Compounded the credit.
Boom. No one's excited. Only Jessica. No one's excited about this, Daz. It's just Jessica. You and I. We're the only 3 people excited about this. Okay. Well, that's all right. If you're excited, put an exclamation point in there. If you're bored, by the way, if this is really boring, you put a B in there. That's all right. Yep, the revolving door. We've been waiting for this since 2009. We've been waiting for the banks to get starved, which is what's happening because of the interest rate hikes. They're trying to get loans on their books. They don't care how. Now, notice none of this is going to social slaves. None of these opportunities are going to you or me or Daz. They're going to our businesses. Okay. Last one I want to show you. This is the one you're all familiar with. If you've been hanging out at all, it's a bit complex, but stay with it for a second. Let's say you got yourself a $50,000 zone. Fine. You buy yourself right away a season corp, 35 grand. It's going to take you some time to build the credit with it. I'm not going to explain why, but just know it takes between 6 and 12 months to build that credit. Meanwhile, you're having to put up the 1% per month minimum payment at 0%. You're losing $350 a month, just to be clear. Okay? You're losing $300. That's why we borrowed a little bit more than we needed to pay for the company so that we can make this payment. Again, I don't want you paying any money of your own. This is 0%. You're basically borrowing from it to pay it. 2 months later, you're going to apply again, let's say, because you got better credit, you've worked some things out, you get another 50 grand. Now, guess what? Choose any of the prior ones that we just talked about and start cash flowing. Now you're out 80, maybe 90 grand. Count 4 months later. By the way, you're paying for this. This is included in your cash flow. Now you're not having to come out of it anymore. Then your seasoned company is approved for $500,000 in credit. You found through our inventory or someone else's a nice $1.2 million apartment that gives you that kind of that kind of leverage. You get our level 3 loans on an equity, 65% occupancy. You're now going to cash flow. I'm making reasonable figures, $8,000 a month plus whatever you got, before. Count 1 year later, you figured out how to get the 65% occupancy up to 95% occupancy. Now it's worth 175. You turn it around and sell it, whatever, for a reasonable sum, not this whole amount, but not the whole value, but you sell it. You just pocketed $500,000. So that's $500,000 plus your $8,000 a month-ish, less some fees, plus your business before. You just cranked whatever that is, $650,000 plus whatever your business was before. How much did it cost you? $1.
$1.
Yeah. All right, Mateo. This sounds too good. I feel like I'm in a scam, but I'm still so interested. It's just sucking me in. Listen, Daz and I were here. Although what we were pitched was over the phone and it was nowhere near this detailed. Nowhere near this detailed. And we caught the vision, not of all these opportunities, because these opportunities have been around for a while. We're just connecting dots. The funding is real. Some of you have received your funding. You know it's real. Some of you already understand the nature of seasoned companies. You already know real estate exists. We're not doing MLM. Now, we may pay you like an MLM, but this is real stuff we're selling. We're not like, oh, give us more money and then you'll get more money. No, you got to work for it if you're going to be an affiliate with us and join us. You don't have to be an affiliate to get your funding. You should all go get your funding right now. Go apply, 3 scores now. But these are opportunities. All we're doing is giving you the ability to pay for them. Now, some of you are like, well, I got money to pay for them now. Well, then go do it. Go do it. Why wouldn't you do this if you had $14,000 in the bank? Why wouldn't you do this if you had $10,000 in the bank? Huh? But our premise is I don't want to use my own money. I just don't. you shouldn't either. The cost of money is too great. And we have a video on why that is. Just you're going to have to trust me because I don't want to go into all that. It's emotional, and it's intense numbers and intense kind of brain bending when you realize why we've been lied to, why it's imperative that they make us save money and use it to pay for things because that keeps us poor. How many rich people do you know that use their own money to start their businesses? Why is it that banks are offering credit to businesses when businesses don't start with capital? What's the first thing a business does? Save money? No, they do at very least a capital funding process, right? Or they go get a loan or revolving. This is what we want to be doing, and that's one of the very first levels of things that we offer, among many. We also offer the ability to leverage real estate contracts so that you can get paid by finding a buyer for the real estate stuff that we represent. And then, of course, you can join us and build teams and become an affiliate and get a percentage off everybody underneath you. If you want. You don't have to. You can do it all yourself if you want. That's all right, Marquino. It's going to be on our YouTube channel. Thank you. Right now, they're going over different... Oh, thank you. Thank you for explaining, Dom. All right. Daz, what do you want to add before we start digging into what's up with folks?
I just want to say, if you don't find a way to make money in your sleep, you're going to be working until you die. Mm-hmm. And you need to be able to enjoy the life that you live. Let me tell you, my first 4 years online, I didn't catch a clue. And I never had any time to live my life. I was pulling 16-hour days. I was like, entrepreneurship, this is foolery. This is not what I thought it was. So put the things in place so that you actually can enjoy your life, so that you're not missing out on those special moments, because time is our greatest asset and it can never be replenished.
It's the only non-renewable asset on the planet. Michael says, is the $1 for a lifetime membership or just initial investment? Neither. It's what it costs you to do a soft pull on your credit here at 3 Scores Now. That's what they'll cost you. Now, by the way, it's a membership. It's a 7-day trial for $1. If you want to keep it, it's $39 a month. You can just cancel. But once you get your scores, you email that to funding, our secure email. You put, I keep pulling up the wrong slide. You put you place your name, your address, your phone number, and your last four of your socials in the body of the email, where you download that PDF and email it to us. You can do that right now. Yes, of course. Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to go back to this list here for a second. Of these things, what appeals to y'all most? So if you're all about, I want to do the real estate opportunity. And when I say real estate opportunity, I don't mean I want to buy real estate. I mean, and we'll get to that one. I mean, I want to make cash now with Legacy Ascending, selling and buying or helping people buy and sell real estate and taking a percentage of the sale. If that's you, put a 1 in the chat box. If you want to do that with us on the wholesale side, put a 1 in the chat box. There's Dr. Tony. We got you. We got you, Jessica. Then keep putting those 1s in there. And then if you want to do the Shopify store, you're like, I either have $60,000 or $70,000 liquid, or I want to get funded. I will be funded to that using your program or whatever. You don't have to use our program. Shopify, if that's you, put a 2 in the chat box. It doesn't have to be today. If you're like, they're leaving 4 spots open for us for the rest of the year. So if it's next month, there may be spots left. But if you're like, you know what, that's what I want to do, that's a 2. Thank you. Yeah, I saw that, Mateo. Thank you. Okay, let's say those 2s. Great. Now, you don't have to do just 1. You can say, I did a 1. You can do a 2, too. That's fine. Churro, how many of you want to do the car thing? Whether you have the capital or you're going to get funded. Churro, 3. Put that 3 in the chat box. Let's see those 3s. Now, here's the thing. Well, I'll get to it. It's all right. Vending machine. See the fours. Vending machine. There we go, Michael. Excellent. You get where we're going with this. Vending machines 4. Now we're going to hold on the DeFi protocol because we're going to make it so that it's silly, simple, and much less risk than others you may have heard before. So we're going to wait on that. There's all my 4s. Okay, great, Kat. Thank you. Mining. You want to do mining? That's a 5. Mining something that you're like, you know what? I've got a lot of experience with computers. I'm good with technology. I live in a cool environment. Power is cheap for me. Great, great, awesome. And then, okay, we already talked about the team building. Lastly, I want to do and purchase either single family residences myself. I want to go through all 3 levels of the funding program, or I want to do commercial property, and I want to be mentored by y'all. That's what I want. That's 6. That's 6. Great, great, great. Now I'm going to have a hard question for you. Some of you put all 6 numbers in. Some of you put 3 numbers in. Michael's going to town. I love that. We're excited. We can't be more excited. Lots of 6s. Look at that. I got a hard question. If you could pick only one, understanding your financial situation, what your credit is right now, and that means that some of you may not have a 685 right now. Now, we can probably help you with that. But if you didn't have a 685 and you were like, shoot, how would I make up enough money to do the Turo? I need 10 grand to do Turo, let's say. How would I do that if I couldn't get funded today? If I couldn't get $50,000 for Shopify, but I know I've got buyers that do hotels. So, considering all of that, if you could only pick one, what would it be? So, 1 is you're going to come buy and sell real estate with us. 2 is Shopify. 3 is Turo. 4 is vending. 5 is mining. 6 is you're going to come buy the real estate yourself. Given your current situation, be honest. Okay, Michael's a 6, Carrie's a 1, Kimberly's a 1, P's a 2, great, 1. Bradford's a 2, 1. I got a 3 from Vanessa, excellent. Lots of 6s. You guys are capitalized. I love it. Or you got good credit. Tyree, there's my minor. Good deal. Love it. Anybody else I miss? Okay, good. This is what we call focus. There's a 4. Awesome. There's my vendors. Or Turo. 1, 2, 3. You're not vending. Good. This is focus. We talk about it in DCG. There's so many opportunities. So many ways to make money. We don't have an excuse. We don't have an excuse to not make money. Michael. No, I need 3. But we want to focus on 1, Michael. We want to say, let's get profitable in 1. Now, if you join us and you want to help wholesale real estate, by the way, you get a percentage of the people that get funded that you bring in as well. So that's also a part of it. We'll talk about that as well in a later time. But you want to join it, then we're going to train you on how to do all this. We're going to train you on how to train others how to do it. We're going to train you on how to build this team. We're going to train you on how to close real estate. We're going to train you on how to close funding, how to suss out people to go, what's the best way for them to be with us, and should they even be with us? Because we want no one to get funding and not have a plan. And you wouldn't want it either. How many times have you say, hey, come get generational wealth? Most people don't even know what that means. And for us, generational wealth means that you, your next of kin, your kids, and their kids don't have to work. Now, they probably should, but they don't have to. 3 generations deep, don't have to work anymore. Okay, that's our nature. Is that team building and passive income? Yes. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, Jessica, I mean, we're all sort of learning. We just did the math on the Turo opportunity like today. Finally got the math in and we're like, oh my gosh, this math works. We had to go over it like 3 times and go, is this for real? That can't be. Beautiful. So for those of you who are going to do funding, I'm going to put this slide back up. I hope I get the right one here. There it is. Go apply right now. It's going to take you 2 minutes. And it'll come to our box, and we will submit it to our lenders tomorrow. They will probably have an answer for you tomorrow, whether you're approved or not, and what amounts. And then we can go from there. They're very fast. We can only guarantee 72 hours, but they're pretty fast. For the rest of you, reach out to us, and I think it's affiliates at legacyascending.com. Affiliates with an S, right, Daz? If they want to join us, they want to hang out with us. Team build. Affiliates. Dazzle. I think it is. And this is not something, we don't put our links up for you to go register as an affiliate because we don't want you to go do it by yourself. This is going to be done with us. We will literally walk you through, or the people who invited you will walk you through the process. We don't just say, hey, come join us and you're on your own. The whole reason this works is because we're all together, right? Some of us are going to be buying real estate, and none of them are going to be buying real estate on their own going, oh yeah, I got this. No, they're going to bring it to the group and we're all going to take a look at it. We're going to, here's what's good about it. Here's what's bad about it. Here are the numbers. There it is. Affiliate. Oh, no S. Don't listen to me. It's no S. Affiliate at Legacy Ascending. Beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. All right. Anybody looking at something specific that they want help with? We got some time. Anybody looking at something or they have a question about what we've talked about tonight? You can hop off mute. Drop it in the chat box. Don't raise your hand on the Zoom thing because I haven't figured out how to put the hands down. Speechless.
Hello.
Yes, sir. I hear you.
Can you go over, hey, Mark?
Hey.
Well, I think the main thing is getting plugged up and I guess getting my score assessed. I'm beginning to work on something with my credit through another situation. But definitely still want to pull things around so that I can see what I can qualify for, because definitely I'd like to get this corporate credit side built up too. And been, getting through my head that I don't have to have my personal credit perfect to get this corporate credit. And I want to find a way, because I got situations dealing with landscaping a little bit. I got a truck that I need to get repaired, but I'm also working with a solar company also. And but I want to bring some things to the doorbell with that, but mainly get this funding so that I can get something started. The Turo sounds good. I'm kind of connected to something that's trying to set up a Turo, but definitely just build and then plug into the system where I can, like you said, to get the credit where we can get into the real estate. Because I know by plugging that, getting that percentage of whatever the deals go down. I mean, if it's $2,000, that's $2,000. Some meal is better than no. What they say, some oatmeal is better than no meal. So you work on it and build it up.
The quick nickel is better than the slow dime.
And the thing, what I've been hearing, it sound like too, maybe finding a way to buy something that's already established, which I've kind of heard, buying a business that's not established and it has its own credit built up, and being able to take advantage of that. If I can even get $50,000 of credit, I'm not mad, because that right there, you can utilize that to step up to whatever else you're trying to do, grow it, in time. So, but definitely, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
I'm shutting up now.
No, that's beautiful. That was really well said. I really appreciate that. And in line with that, there's two questions in the chat. How do you pull credit for an existing business? And when you say pull credit, you mean like get credit for an existing business? And then not like pull its credit, like find out how much. I think you mean.
I guess to say what their business is and what is its credit developed, credit line already established. Is it a, credit line that's established, or do I have to go back in and make the business work to obtain?
Are you talking about like buying a seasoned company?
Yeah.
Or buying like an actual company that's doing business?
One of the two.
Okay.
I've heard
if you buy a company that's like doing business, first of all, you're going to spend millions and millions of dollars because they have a built-in value. But if you're talking about like what we're talking about, which is a pre-existing seasoned company, How those work basically is this: they don't exist. They're just founded and held in the Ethereum, in the ether. And they don't have any transactions. They don't have any credit. They don't do any business. They're just sitting there on the state book until such time as you come in with $35,000 or so, give or take, depending on what you want, and buy it. Then it's given to you. Then you file an EIN. What a lot of people do is then they go and make fraudulent documents, and they even pay companies to do this for them, and then say to a bank, oh, we've got all these 2 years of funding, and it's a lie, and it's a fraud, and you go to jail. And I would expect that companies would know better, but they keep doing it. And we found one that did that. It was referred to us by a credible source. And when we found it, it was like, this is fraud. So yes, we could turn around and get it as soon as we buy it, and then run the risk. I don't want to run the risk of a federally paid vacation, and neither do you. So what we do is we have to find a company that will sell us a blank company that's never been used. That's right. We don't want to buy a company that's been used. I mean, unless like you're saying, oh, it's making already $1 million a month because it's making widgets. Different conversation. But some companies, oh yeah, it's been used. It's built up its own credit. Like one of our affiliates found one. He goes, oh, they only want $15,000 for this company, and they've got all this loan, but they're about to go into bankruptcy, but they got all this credit. I'm like, if they're about to go into bankruptcy, I don't think I want to submit those financials. So whether that's credit or not, I inherit that. No, I want a blank, white, clean company, nothing there. Then I want to start building its credit. Now, there is a company that we work with that can build corporate credit up to $400,000 or $500,000, depending on what you need, within 6 to 12 months. So, meantime, you're doing one of these businesses, funneling income into that, making deposits in the bank, which creates financials. So while this company that you bought the $35,000 seasoned company from is building its credit, you're making financials, so that when it's time to go, I have a $500,000, I'd like to pull that out of this revolving line of credit and put it into my bank account as collateral against a big equity loan so I can buy this apartment complex. You've got financials, you've got good credit, and it's over 2 years old. And you didn't use any of your own money to pay for it. You used our level one funding.
That route is correct. I missed a piece or two, but I understand what you're saying. That's the route, yeah. Legal route, straight route. Keep it clean and straight across the board. Clean. Yes, sir. I ain't federally... No, I ain't doing that.
Yeah. I like buying hotels, but I don't want the Gray Bar Hotel. No. That's the gist. So then P's got a question. So if credit is not 685, how would I get funding? If it's not 685, then you can find out what's wrong with your credit, which is critical. And if it's anything but a bankruptcy or a federal tax lien, there's a solution. If it's that you have your credit's like way too extended, you've got too much, you're using too much of it, obviously you can pay it down. How do I find the money to do that? Come work with us and sell real estate. Make some money on the side. One way. Another way, make more money yourself. Do one of these other businesses. You'll have to use your own capital. Or you sometimes, depending on the situation, if it's around 685, our lenders have programs to help temporarily pay down those amounts, and they cost you money, but then you can get the funding, and then they put the amounts back on your cards and that lasts for a little bit at a time, so that their lenders go, oh, looks like it's okay. You get the funding, and they put it back on. And I don't know all the ins and outs of how that works. I just know that we have several people who have done that, and it's done it successfully. It's more expensive, but again, it's at 0%. It's on your credit cards that you're going to get from this level one funding side. Or lastly, since it's all got to go corporate anyway, you find somebody to join your company who has a 750 or an 800 or more credit. You make them an officer in your company. You give them a deal you can't refuse. All of that's outlined in a video I did on our YouTube channel. And now you don't have to use your own funding. Use someone else's. If we're going to use other institutions' money, why wouldn't we use other people's credit scores too to get that? I mean, that's the best of both worlds. I'm not even using my own credit score. Hey. Can we structure the loan so it's non-recourse? No. Unless you use someone else's in your company. But the only way to do that is to make a private agreement with them that you are personally responsible to pay back their loan should the company fold. No one's going to give you free money and put themselves on the stick for you or your company without some kind of recourse. I'm sorry. That's not going to happen. You won't get non-recourse loans until well into our level 2 funding, where you have a pre-existing funded company that has financials. Now, if you've already got financials, then it's a hop, skip, and a jump to set up a Paydex score, get some credit lines, no PG. Different conversation. Great question. All right. I'm talking a mile a minute trying to answer your questions. Hopefully it's making sense. This is all recorded. It'll go on our YouTube channel. Please apply for funding. When I say our funders can take 100 applications a week, that's how desperate they are to give you money. They got to get these funds on the books, right? If you want to materially participate in bringing people to funding, you come join us as an affiliate. There it is again. Bam, Dazzle, on cue.
So, excuse me.
Yeah.
So just go to Funding Legacy to become the request to become a partner.
Nope. Funding at Legacy Ascending is for applying for funding.
Okay, and go to the main website to join.
Nope. If you want to come talk to us about being an affiliate, Dazzle just put it in the chat box.
Okay.
Affiliate at legacyascending.com. Say, hey, give us your
Okay.
name, your phone number, your
Okay.
email so we can get in touch
Right.
with you. We will get in touch with you tomorrow. One or the other of us. Maybe both if you're lucky, if you're really good looking. I was supposed to be funny. Sorry. Okay. Great questions. So that's it. If you want to be working with us, alongside us, there's our YouTube channel. She just posted that in the chat. Tons of education there. Lastly, before we leave you, YouTube, Mark, sorry. Saturday mornings at 10 Eastern, we talk real estate. Only real estate. Deals, how to know if it's a good deal, numbers. Last week I gave away my real estate calculator, how to know what a good deal looks like. Putting any property in, flipping, income property. I mean, it's pretty awesome. We had a great time. Okay. This Saturday, I'm going to go over every kind of real estate that I would ever want to invest in or would hope someone else would want to invest in. And we're going to do pros and cons so that you can make an educated decision about, hey, here's what I'm kind of going to lean toward. Kind of like we did today with our opportunities, but I'm going to break down duplex, triplex, factory, logistics, mobile home park, apartments, vacant land, development, all of it. Anything that I think makes good sense. Now, some of these, $2 billion complex, I don't have any experience with that. And if you want to do that, by God, you should. Just don't ask me because I don't know. I'll wholesale it to you, but I've never even dreamt of owning one. I don't even think I'd want to, but a lot of people do. That's their thing. Can I get a copy of the calculator too? Thanks, Timothy Gaines. If you are an affiliate, I will give it to you all day long, but not otherwise. Yeah, Jessica, it's going to be great. If you already have a company with financials, what are the next steps? We should talk, Michael. Not very few people have financials on a company that's over 2 years old. Sounds like you do. Great, amazing. You'll probably jump into our level 3 funding right away. All right. Is that on YouTube? Yes, Timothy. It's on YouTube. It is. And honestly, Timothy, you'll look at the spreadsheet that I use and you'll figure it out. Better yet, join us. Last questions, y'all. It's 10 seconds before the top of the hour. We're all going to turn to pumpkins. Let's give Daz a round of applause in the chat box. She's done a ton of work putting this together, doing figures, doing research. I'm just the bald guy. She's the brains, y'all. She's the one that does all the work. And cool. Yeah. We are grateful.
Thanks, Daz.
Yes.
Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome. It's exciting. We're having a great time doing this, and we just added some more people to the family yesterday.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and we're
And it does work.
there it is, a pitch from the audience.
Can you hear me, Mark?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, sorry about that. Can you go over your mind at the Shopify deal? Like, is there a monthly? I missed the monthly on that, or is it? I know you were going over pretty much how stuff pay for itself. That's the only pretty much
Boom.
question I got. Appreciate you.
What's the
Thank
question?
y'all. Thank y'all, by the way. Just a rundown on it, like the monthly cost is.
Yeah, we went over that. I'm probably not going to go over it again.
there a monthly
There's
fee
also,
you
we have an
to pay
entire
before?
video
How's
on it.
everything?
We have an entire video on that on the YouTube channel. I go over every last inch of it.
Okay, I'll look it
Absolutely.
up. Thank
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all.
Yes, sir. All right, y'all. It is pumpkin hour. Thank you all. Reach out. We love you. And yes, not last Saturday. It would have been last. It's a special video. It's a special video, but it's there on the YouTube channel. Love you all. We'll talk soon.
Peace and blessing, everyone. Have a great night.
Bye, y'all.
Thank you,
Thank
but I got
you.
that calculator, so I know I was on that call. I just don't remember what day. What's up, Dad?
Oh
It was
yeah,
last
yeah. The
Saturday.
calculator was on last Saturday. Calculators last
Oh,
Saturday.
so I'm right? Okay.
You're right. You're right. You're
I
right.
didn't know you was connected to Daz, though. What's up, Daz?
Blessings, yo, that's my partner in capital. Right
We're twins. Didn't you know?
Oh.
Now, I see.
Hey, it's all good. That's the all minds coming together.
His name is Mark, and my name is Markina, so
Hey, it worked.
we go together, Michael.
Yes, ma'am. Hi, Ms. Daz.
Blessings.
You finally got me.
Oh,
Look, that consistency pays off, don't it?
are you going for the?
I said that consistency pays off, don't it?
Hey, you working it. You making me jealous. I gotta catch up. But it's all
Come
good.
on in, come on in. The water's nice. Join us on this side.
Yes. I definitely want to connect because when I saw this, I said to myself, I got to get some type of funding. And this, you guys, what I'm seeing, this is added something else I was trying to check, but I don't think they'll do something. But this is going to put you've got something built here. A couple of areas I'm tapping into with another group, but the more extended pieces, the training and understanding about getting the real estate and building the credit and everything. A little bit more, and but definitely still all in all, it's good. And the Turo, yeah. And I'm hopefully do some networking because I'm also trying to work on training to get the working with a solar company here in Maryland, and we might be able to reach out to different places if people know people that want to get solar done or whatever. But we'll talk offline and all that, so I won't confute nothing and everything and take it from there. Yeah.
Well, I'm excited and I appreciate everybody who invested their time with us and take action so you can get the ROI.
Yes.
On the time that you invested tonight.
Oh, definitely. I'm gonna email you in a minute because I want to become an affiliate and just dig in and pull some things together because this is what people been needing to do anyway with this country. I'm just gonna say that for the main thing that people don't realize through this pandemic and seeing what's been going on and everybody else has been getting. I mean, hey, to me, that's a way. This is a capitalist country. Why not participate? Because being on the other side, your regular credit is okay, but you get this corporate credit. This thing is a whole different beast, and you do it right, it'll work right for you. Yep.
That's right. All right, blessings, and y'all have a good night, and I'll see you guys on the inside.
Yes.
I appreciate you guys.
Bless
Later,
you.
Gator.
Bless everybody. Go.